Et nous avons encore une oratrice inscrite sur la liste. Il s'agit de Madame Horowitz.
Dear colleagues, the European Court of Human Rights is very well known in Ukraine to be the last hope of Ukrainians to seek justice. In 2012, Ukrainians were among top 5 nations trying to sue their country in the European Court, not because Ukraine has a huge population, but because our courts fail. I must say that it takes money, time of life, and huge hope to go through all these procedures and obtain a decision of court. And how deep the regrets are for those who went through all this to finally find out that 9 out of 10 decisions of the European Court will never be executed in Ukraine. So first of all, the question is, do we support the idea of optimization the work of court? Yes, but it cannot end up in limiting the right of citizen to seek justice. Do we support the idea to monitor the execution of judgments? Definitely. We should also think over the sanctions for the state that fails up to blocking the representation of its members in the assembly, at least the part that represents the ruling party. As no matter how criticized the bureaucracy and procedures are, the biggest problem occurs when country member ignores the judgments. 8 months ago, the decision on case of Ivanov versus Ukraine was adopted. And guess what? Nothing. 3 years ago, 8 months, that was the Lutsenko case. 3 years ago, the decision Ivanov versus Ukraine was adopted with the same result. Second, I was surprised by a person who was entrusted to report on this issue for the Assembly. As a matter of fact, Mr. Kівалову is known to have an enormously huge personal impact on judicial system and court judgments in Ukraine, and is a persistent supporter of an idea to limit the influence of the European Court. One may know that he was the author of the draft law aimed to empower the local courts with the authority to revise inconvenient decisions of the European Court. Finally, dear colleagues, I ask you not to support the Amendment 1, which entrusts a judge of the European Court with the right to prioritize the cases, as in conditions of weak democracy, it can end up either with a situation when cases on political prosecution will never appear on the court's agenda, such as cases of Tymoshenko and Lutsenko, or with a serious threat to the health and life of the judge and her family members. Thank you for understanding.